What's up, rockers? It's been 2 months since I've uploaded a video to YouTube, and I've been quite busy to say the least, and what I've been busy with, well, we're going to talk about it here in this video. But even better, there's also going to be a giveaway in this video, and I want to formally announce the pre-release of the Shinewave Reactive LED mod for GameCube that I've been talking about in the past few videos. We're going to talk about it again in this video, and we're also going to talk about the companion mod that I've been working on for 2 months that goes along with it. So let's jump into it. So in the past few videos, I've shown you guys some updates to the Shinewave mod that I've been working on for some time now. Just as a reminder, the Shinewave mod is a reactive LED mod for the GameCube controller that reacts to your inputs while you're playing Smash. If you missed any of those updates, I'll leave some cards in the upper right hand corner for you to check out. But since those updates, we've continued to make progress, including making custom code for every single character in Smash Ultimate, with the exception of the Mii's. Sorry, Mii's, I didn't know what to do with you. And generally speaking, the reception has been really good, and I really appreciate that. However, someone asked a very good question, and quite frankly, I didn't have the answer to it. And that question was, Rocker, this is great, but how am I going to fit my snapback mod in here? Now, for those of you who are unaware, snapback is a real problem with the GameCube controller, and many controllers suffer from snapback. So what is snapback, you ask? Well, it occurs in the controller when you release the thumbstick, and the spring inside returns the thumbstick to the center position. However, in doing so, sometimes it can cross over the dead zone and register an input in the other direction than intended. As I'm sure you can kind of imagine, when you're playing a fighting game, that's not what you want. So as for the question that was asked, it's actually a fantastic question, because you see many snapback modules live in the same place as the Shinewave mod. So I worked with my buddy K Willie, and we ended up setting on a course to rectify that situation. So that way you can have both snapback and Shinewave in the same controller. So here's what we ended up coming up with. It's a really tiny snapback board, which is also of the no reset variety, which of course is more desirable. But even better, it side saddles itself to the actual controller main PCB, so it easily can integrate with the Shinewave mod. Now what's crazy is we started working on this 2 months ago, and thanks to the help of PCBWay, we were able to prototype, develop, and complete a production run of these snapback modules in only 2 months' time, which is a testament to them, as they were able to turn around boards to us in 24 hours for prototyping purposes and just over a month for a full production run. So thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring this video, and thanks to them for producing these boards. They look and feel fantastic and work as intended. If you have any PCB needs, I recommend you check out PCBWay, link is in the description below. But anyway, I really want to show you guys how you get this installed into a controller. And we've got this absolutely lovely rustic Kirby controller that was painted by Pucho Magic teed up for the controller today. This thing is really nice, and if you're not giving Pucho Magic a follow on either Twitter or Instagram, I'm going to leave those below in the description. He's definitely worth a follow because he puts out some absolutely amazing custom painted controllers and consoles. But anyway, I've already sleeved up the cable in this really nice yellow, and I'm going for this nice white plug cap. I think it's going to look really good and match the yellow stars that you saw on the front of the controller really well. Okay, with that done, I'm going to go ahead and solder the controller header back onto the controller PCB, and it probably goes without saying, we're going to install a Shinewave into this, and naturally with a Kirby themed shell, we got to go with a Kirby themed Shinewave kit. Now, this particular controller is for King Kerb, and as part of the deal, I told him when we were done doing all the work on this Shinewave, I would build him a custom controller, and here we are building him the custom controller. So anyway, we're just going to get the QSB soldered on for the Shinewave, and this is very simple. It's just 3 solder points, so we're going to tack it down, and then we're going to go over all the joints and make them really nice. Fortunately, to install a Shinewave, this is all the soldering that's required, and quite frankly, there's also a solder-free adapter, but hey, I mean, I gotta install it soldered because that's how I roll. Okay, so turning our attention to the back of the controller, there's a couple things we're going to need to do over here to get the snapback module installed correctly. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to make some slight modifications to the rumble housing bracket, just making a couple cuts with our flush cuts. It's pretty simple to do. And we're going to need to solder 4 wires in to install the snapback board. So let's go ahead and make those cuts, and let's get this snapback kit installed. So the 4 solder points we need to make, they're pretty easy to do. They're just very simple wires that wire up to a wiring harness. And I really like the wiring harness idea in general because it allows for you to easily take out your snapback kit without having to desolder anything, which realistically is a pretty added benefit when it comes to routing wires and all the other things you need to do to make the back of the controller look really pretty. And with that soldering complete, we've now done all the soldering necessary to install both the snapback and the Shinewave. As I put the rumble bracket back on, you can kind of see the cuts made earlier and how they allow the wires from the wiring harness to route very easily. I'm just going to kind of push that to the side as we're going to get back to the Shinewave here next. So getting the Shinewave installed from here is really simple. It involves 0 soldering, and all we really need to do is place some PCBs and route some flex cables. So all I'm doing is using a little Q-tip with some IPA on it just to clean up the areas before I place the adhesive down from the back of the PCBs and apply it to the actual controller motherboard. Now, this is really nice. I had some custom laser cut double-sided adhesive made because, well, quite frankly, it eliminates the need for hot glue, which I think is really nice. Of course, you can still use hot glue if you choose to, that's up to you, but yeah, this is a pretty simple way to do it and made the process pretty easy. So I'm just sticking on the main controller PCB on the back of the controller, and next we're going to route some flex cables. So I'm going to use the shorter of the 2 flex cables, and I'm going to run that from the QSB that we soldered on earlier on the front of the board, and I'm going to route that around to the back and install it into the main board. Okay, next up is the CStick PCB, and this is another similar process, pretty simple. Peel the double-sided adhesive off and kind of route the flex cable. You can see I'm kind of routing it behind the PCB, which is using some adhesive to hold it in place. This is just the way I like to do it from a routing standpoint, just makes it really, really clean. So anyway, we're gonna get that stuck on, and yeah, should be pretty much all set once we plug that into the main board. Alright, with that done, we're going to now plug the wiring harness into the snapback kit, and we're going to do a little bit of cable management here just to make everything look really nice and make sure those LEDs are not obstructed by any of the flex cables or the wiring harness. So all I'm going to do for the wiring harness is just kind of shove it up and to the right over there, and then for the flex cable, I kind of do this little trick where I use the holder in the bracket for the rumble motor, and I kind of just tuck the flex cable into there along with the wires for the rumble motor, and that basically holds every flex cable in place. It actually works surprisingly well. So yeah, nice and easy, no need for additional hot glue if you don't want it or anything like that, but of course you're more than welcome to use it if you so desire. Now, as we get to the rear shell, there are several options out there right now for clear shells, including Nintendo OEM, these controller chaos ones that just showed up out of nowhere, and other third-party shells. It can be a little bit confusing, and some do require modification in order to work. So I've created a handy flowchart just to kind of make it very simple for you to determine whether your clear back will or will not require modification. If it does require modification, such as this controller chaos one, the good news is it's very simple to do and only requires a couple cuts. Now, of course, this custom controller wouldn't be complete without some awesome custom buttons. So we're going to use the Alumilite Clear here, which is a fantastic clear-based resin to use for making buttons and sticks, and we're going to go ahead and use that to create some custom buttons and sticks for this controller. Now, the color I've chosen to go with here is like a white color shift. It shifts between like green, gold, white. It's really spectacular in person. Capturing it on camera has been challenging, but hey, at least in person it looks absolutely fantastic. So anyway, let's get this stuff all mixed together and let's inject it into some molds so we can get those buttons on the controller, and then I can show you guys how to tune that no reset snapback mod. Okay, gonna fire up my Wii, and my Wii has been soft modded, so I'm gonna run the homebrew channel, and I'm gonna make sure my app is installed, which is called Smashscope. Smashscope is what we're gonna be using to tune our no reset snapback module. Okay, so we're in Smashscope, and we're gonna do this a little ghetto, and you're gonna see the LEDs just like freak out throughout this entire thing. It's worth noting that once you're in Smashscope, it actually pulls the controller at non-standard rates. And so therefore, you know, the LEDs don't want to work properly because it's not used to reading at the rate that it's coming out or wanting to be read by Smashscope. So anyway, we're going to go down to our oscilloscope, and we're going to load up our oscilloscope, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to flick to the left, and we're looking at some of the values that are popping up on that max X. And you can see that we're popping about 30, which is a little bit higher than you want. We're going to do the same thing on the Y. And that one's a little bit better, actually. Actually, it's quite a bit better, I would say. But we're still getting values in the 30s. And realistically, we want to be below 23 on both sides, as that would pretty much register that there's no risk of registering additional inputs. So having had a little bit of experience with this thing, I can, you know, kind of give you a little bit of a range of where I think we're going to be. So over here, these are going to be our horizontal adjustments, and it's worth noting that these are all incremental, right? So for example, if I have the first two switch, we're going to have 0.15 microfarad capacitance being added. And the same is also true on the vertical side. Obviously there's less adjustments on the vertical side, but you know, it is what it is. So from my experience, we're probably going to want to be, and based on what I'm seeing, we'll probably want to adjust these up over here. Something like that should probably be sufficient. And then on the vertical side, I'm going to guess that we're going to want to be about, I don't know, here would be my guess. So let's go ahead and test it again and see what happens. Yeah, it's much better. So you can see on the X side, I'm basically pulling 16, 15, 14. These are really good values. I'm really happy with that. And then on the Y side, I'm probably still maybe just a hint and a hair high compared to where I want to be. But honestly, you know what? I think this is probably good to go. So what I might do is just tune out the Y side just a little bit more. So I'll push this one down, get this one up right here, because like I said, these are all additive. There we go. Okay. And let's test that out one more time on the Y side now. Like I said, X is good. Yeah, Y is much better. Yeah, and that's it. It's one of those things where you get experience with it and you'll know exactly where to go each time, but I'm pretty happy with these values that are coming out now. So anyway, that's how you tune the no reset snapback mod. Now, I think I mentioned earlier something about a giveaway, so let's talk about that for a second. So to celebrate the fact that this is finally done, I want to give away this clear on clear controller that was built by me and K Willie. It's absolutely awesome, and to win it, it's really simple. All you got to do is give this video a like, drop a comment below, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And if you want additional ways to win this controller, there's a Gleam link in the description and in the pinned comment below. And if you do some retweeting on Twitter and whatnot, you get entered there as well. So it gives you more opportunities to win. This controller is absolutely ridiculous. Not only is it completely decked out with all clear parts and a T3 board, but it also has a Shinewave, which I will put whatever character you want on there. And it also has a no reset snapback mod, again, all tuned by both K Willie and myself. So something that's really awesome. If you're interested in picking up either the Shinewave or a no recept snapback kit, you can go ahead and do that. I'll leave a link to my Etsy below. And right now we're taking pre-orders for both, and I'm expecting shipping to take place in 3 weeks. But with that being said, guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. And if you're interested in seeing some more GameCube modding action, make sure you check out these videos here at the end, because I'm sure you're going to enjoy them. Catch you guys for the next one here soon.